So in this class and in many other classes, you'll be needing to upload images to Canvas. It's almost exclusively the way I have people turn stuff in. So nearly every assignment is a discussion. You have to turn in at least one image, and that lets us track your work in the studio. But often, because cameras are getting so good and even phone cameras are so good, you'll wind up with images that are way too big, and your account will run out of space, and that causes all sorts of problems down the line. Plus, it's just hard for me to download to grade. So here you can see I've opened Photoshop and I've opened a random image. This is one I took with a DSLR, and if you look closely you can see that the file type is .cr2. You can open up pretty much any file type in Photoshop, but this tells me it's a raw image from a camera, and those tend to be pretty big. I can see this if I go up to Image and Image Size, and sure enough I'll see the image size is 35.5 M or megabytes, and that's way too big if we're going to be maintaining a whole bunch of these images. So I want to get this size smaller, and if you're already comfortable in Photoshop, you'll know how to use the image size panel to get that done. But because this isn't a Photoshop class, let me show you a simple way to do it. Instead, I'll go up to File, Export, and then Export As. And sometimes this will take a little while to come up with a bigger image. So up here at the right, I can see the format. And for convenience, I would just say everyone should be using JPEG all the time, but again, if you know more about this process, you'll know sometimes a PNG makes more sense, or a GIF, or whatever. So we're going to stick to JPG. And then here I can see the width and height, not the print size, but the number of pixels that make up the image. So just as a general rule of thumb, take the largest size, whether that's width or height, and you're going to switch that to 1200, which should automatically update the aspect ratio below. For whatever reason, it wanted to give me 1202. As long as it's pretty close, that's fine. And then I can leave all the rest of this stuff alone and hit export. It's going to ask me where it wants to export, so for this example, I'll make it onto the desktop. And we'll call this self_p. And I'll save it. Okay, so that should go pretty fast. Now, if I minimize Photoshop and take a look at my messy desktop, here I can open up my images. You can see here's the original that was 35.5 megabytes. And if I click here on a Mac once, and then click Command-I, I can see that now this image only takes up 819 kilobytes on the disk, which is slightly less than 1 megabyte. So you want to keep all of your images below 1 megabyte just as a rule of thumb for this class so you don't wind up running out of room.